All right. Hi, everyone. I am so pleased tonight to have Sharon Nuñez from Animal Equality with me tonight. Hi, Sharon. How are you?
Hi, Lindsay. Hi. I'm such a big fan of the program. It's a real honor to be and to meet you. It's really
Thank you. It's a big honor to meet you after I heard all of the things you've been doing for the past 25 years, as you just told me, in animal rights. So we're going to get into all of that. And we came on tonight because you have a very important message you want to get out to everyone. You want to mention that right up front, and then we'll get into all kinds of good stuff afterwards.
Of course. So Animal Equality is an international organization, and we believe in a world where all animals are respected and protected. And we've just recently launched a really important campaign to ban wet markets worldwide. Wet markets are places where exotic and farmed animals are bought and sold and slaughtered in the most awful ways. And Animal Equality has investigated wet markets in China, in Vietnam, and in India. And they're not only places where animals are treated cruelly, but they're also breeding grounds for disease. And that is why we have an international campaign asking the United Nations to ban wet markets. And tomorrow is a really important day for animal equality because we will be doing a global tweet storm asking the United Nations to ban wet markets.
What time does that start, and how do people get involved in that? Let's start with that.
Yeah, sure. So I can't stress enough the importance of the tweet storm tomorrow because we want to try to make it a trending topic globally. And we think with all of the other things that we're doing in this campaign, that this is really an important thing to do in order to get people to learn about the reality of wet markets, but also to call the attention of the United Nations, who we are petitioning to ban wet markets. So really important, tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern time, we will be doing a tweet storm worldwide to ban wet markets. And all of the information can be found in our Facebook. So that's facebook.com/animal equality or on Animal Equality's Twitter.
So why don't we type that in here and try our new cool Facebook.com. I'm such a bad typist. /
Animal Equality. I can do it too. Do you want me to do it?
Why don't you do it?
Okay, good. I'll just put it on the chat.
I'll let you do that. And then just put it in there. That'll be great. Okay. The link. And we will also place that link in the copy description so that people can see it later.
There it is. There it goes.
Perfect. I don't see it yet. Oh, hi, Carol. We have Carol and Johnny Martinez watching. Beautiful woman.
Hi.
I don't really like what his comment was, so I'm going to just skip that one. But okay, I guess it was sort of a compliment. Anyway, tell us a little bit more about how people can go to your Facebook page, sign up for this, and it's really important that we all do this. I can't wait to do it. I've done them before. I have to say, just want to tell people, it is super easy, right? You give us all, it's basically, you're just hitting the right, because it's all kind of set up for you to respond and all of that. Is that right?
Yeah, sure. So visiting our Facebook, facebook.com/animal equality, or twitter.com/animal equality, you'll find all of the information for the tweet storm tomorrow. Again, tomorrow, April 27th, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 Eastern time. And then Animal Equality is also going to be publishing the tweets on the actual Facebook event that we've created. Right. So we'll be doing the same on Twitter. And what we will be asking people to do is to simply retweet or use the tweet that we'll be putting on Facebook. And also, we haven't launched the hashtag yet, but we will be launching the hashtag tomorrow morning. So at around 9 a.m. Pacific, it's really important for everyone to be connected because we will be sharing the official hashtag then.
I see. I think I was mixing that up with another thing we did where we were conversing with people it was a little bit different type of tweet storm where we were talking back and forth with people to help them make a decision about certain policies, and it was really good. It was a while ago and I did it, but everything was set up. So I just want to stress to everyone that it's super easy to do, to participate. So
yeah, and I'll just post on the link the actual Facebook event. Sorry, on the private, no, not on the private chat. So I just put it on the live comments, maybe.
yeah, I think someone already did for us. It looks like it says, I think we have someone helping us out here. They put a link to events, and it's probably the right one. Yeah, but if not, you can. Is that it?
Yeah, and exactly. And that is the actual Facebook event that we've created. And there they have the details about the campaign and also exactly what is happening on April 27th. That is tomorrow. And it's really, really important that we get as many people as possible to tweet tomorrow at that time. I mean, again, wet markets are not only really places of animal cruelty. I've visited wet markets myself in India, and our investigators have visited wet markets in Vietnam, in China, and we've seen all sorts of animals, wild animals and also farmed animals, animals like deers, like raccoons, like crocodiles, dogs, and they're living in filthy conditions, in crammed cages. The animals suffer from dehydration, starvation, and disease. And these markets, as we know, they're also a threat to public health. And this is not the first time they have been the source of disease outbreaks. It's happened in the past with SARS, for example. So it's really important that tomorrow we get together and we make this tweet storm a success and inform people about what is happening, and also get the attention of officials and get the attention of the United Nations, who we are petitioning.
How many people do you think are you hoping to get involved tomorrow? Like, what numbers are you looking at? Do you have any idea how many people actually participate in this?
So I'll just give you an example of how successful this campaign has been. We've launched a petition at animalequality.org/markets, and we already have, I'm looking at the number now, 445,000 people have signed worldwide. So almost 500,000 people have already signed. So we're expecting, we've launched this not only in the US, the tweet storm, but we are going to be doing it in all of the countries that Animal Equality is operating in Europe, in India, and Mexico, Brazil, and the US. And we hope to get thousands of people to participate and engage. And the response that we're getting is enormous, and we think tomorrow will be a huge success too.
That sounds amazing. That'll certainly get the attention of the UN. If we all pitch in and do this, this is going to be so amazing. I am so excited about it, because when you look at some of these pictures, let's just go a little bit. There's a couple things you said I want to go back to. I could talk to you all night, but let's just start off with a little bit on your website maybe. And you want to just talk through some of this you talked a little bit about the public health threat already. And we did, we've seen that on the news. It's being substantiated on the mainstream media, that even back to AIDS was probably caused by people eating monkeys. We can't say for sure, but it's, so it is a huge public health threat. But even beyond that, the way the animals are treated is just unconscionable. And it just breaks your heart to see these innocent babies here. I mean, it's breaking my heart. These poor, and God, who knows what happened to them after these pictures. So tell us a little bit about when you went undercover and how that was. You actually did that yourself, and I think that is so heroic and amazing. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Of course. So I visited India last year, and as part of some of the footage that we were documenting on the conditions of animals, this is something that Animal Equality has been doing since its foundation in 2006, doing investigations into factory farms, into slaughterhouses, to really document and show the public the cruelty behind our treatment of animals, the cruelty behind the consumption of animals. And as part of these investigations, I joined our investigation in India, and I went into a wet market in Pune, that is one of the main cities in India. In the wet market I was in, there wasn't wild animals, there was mostly farmed animals, and what I saw was cages and cages of chickens that were just about to be slaughtered. And that is actually why, or one of the reasons why these markets are called wet markets. It's because of the blood, the guts, the water that soak the stalls and the floors of the markets, because animals are killed. And what this responds to is people's desire to eat freshly killed meat. And I actually saw that. So not only did I see cages and cages of chickens, some of them were severely dehydrated. Several of them seemed to be dead. They weren't moving, they weren't responding. And it was very, very, very hot. The temperatures get really hot in this region of India. And one of the people who worked there pulled one of the chickens violently out of the cage. And I didn't see the slaughter at that time. It happened a few meters away from me. But the way these animals are slaughtered is brutal. Their throats are cut, and then they're just thrown into a bucket to bleed to death while they're still fully conscious. And the hygienic conditions, so not only the cruelty of the animals, the severe distress of these animals that I could so clearly see, but the conditions were absolutely appalling. And I think this is something that we're really also is very important as part of this campaign, the unhygienic conditions of wet markets.
And that's what's caused it to come back and bite humans because of the cruelty. Now it's coming back to us. And it's unbelievable that these governments aren't doing anything. Even if they were allowing it to go on, there doesn't seem to be any standards whatsoever.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that when we're thinking of infectious diseases, we should not forget that 75% of infectious diseases come from animals. And even though this animal equality campaign is specifically focused on wet markets, on live markets where animals are also killed, there is live animal markets where they are killed also in other countries. Like, for example, in the US, we know that they exist in New York and in other countries. But also, we mustn't forget that diseases such as swine flu or bird flu come from factory farming. And as part of one of Animal Equality's mission is to end the suffering of farmed animals, of animals that are raised and killed for food. But factory farming is also devastating to the environment, as we know. It's terrible for eating large amounts of animal products are detrimental to our health. But there is also a relation between the way we treat animals, the way animals are raised and killed in factory farms, and zoonotic diseases. As I was mentioning, swine flu, bird flu, other diseases come and are a result directly of the unhygienic and conditions of factory farms. I have visited dozens of factory farms during my time as an activist. And I remember once specifically where there was a mother pig and she was in a cage, she was giving birth, and her first baby fell into a mountain of feces that she had deposited there a few minutes before. So this to me is as shocking as what I saw on wet markets, and it really is about our treatment of animals worldwide.
Yes, absolutely. Everything you said, I was listening to. I was just reading a couple of the comments here. Oh, yes, please share this out. Lisa Carlin is asking people to share this out, but we did have a question for you, and that's what distracted me for a second here.
Of course.
Stephanie says, saw in the event page that the hashtag will be shared when the tweet storm starts. Okay, you already said yes. Yes, mm-hmm. Stephanie, it'll be shared then. Okay, let me see if there are any other comments that we have. Show this type of things at dog shows and police stations so that they can make connections. Good idea, Johnny. And need to end these cruel wet markets. So we're getting people coming on and saying yes. So please join us tomorrow, you guys, because this is how you can help us help Sharon and Animal Equality succeed in this campaign. So definitely, yes, we agree with you. So what else can we maybe talk a little bit? People that don't know, you were mentioning how these diseases, all these wild animals are put together that normally would not be together. And also many of these viruses lay dormant in the animals. They don't affect them. The coronavirus does not affect animals as it affects us, not nearly as badly. That's what one of the things that was being said by one of the medical people today. And it's when they interface with humans, that's when all of these diseases, going back to the earliest pandemics and AIDS and all sorts of things. And the other point that we did want to bring out is that this may not be the worst of it. Do you want to address that a little bit? How this?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Sorry, of course. And you put it you really put it very, very well, Lindsey. Actually, a zoonotic disease is an infectious disease. It's caused by a pathogen, and that has jumped from a non-human animal to humans. And as I mentioned before, 75% of infectious diseases are a direct result of animals. And one of the questions I'm seeing online says, can you please explain how banning live markets can prevent future pandemics? Yes, these markets need to be banned, an immediate threat to public health, and have been the source of numerous diseases. So, for example, SARS comes from markets. Middle East respiratory syndrome.
Sharon, excuse me for one second, but your voice has an echo. Oh. I wonder, is there something you've done differently in the last minute, because it changed quite a bit? Let me just take out my
open my door a little more. Is that any better? I can't hear you now, Lindsey. I can't hear you. Lindsey, you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me any better?
Much better, and there's no echo. There was an echo, and I'm not sure if it was being broadcast, so I wanted to stop you, but go ahead. And then Jane Velez Mitchell asked me to have you explain how banning live markets can prevent future pandemics. So maybe you can dovetail into that afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. Such an important question. And as I was saying before, you really put it very, very well, Lindsey. Like, zoonotic diseases are infectious diseases that are caused by a pathogen and that jump from non-human animals to humans. And addressing Jane's question, these markets are an immediate threat to public health, and they need to be banned immediately. They have been the source of disease outbreaks in the past. So, of course, it is believed that COVID-19 comes from as the result of a wet market, or comes from a disease or a pathogen that jumped from an animal to a human in a wet market. But there's other examples like SARS, H1N1, Middle Eastern respiratory syndrome. These are three viruses that most likely originated in animals and jumped to humans, causing dangerous outbreaks. So if we want to protect public health, we need to ban wet markets. And if we want to protect animals, we need to ban wet markets. And this point can't be stressed enough. We've seen some of the photos on the website. I myself have visited wet markets and can give testament of how incredibly cruel they are, where animals are in cages, sometimes for days, in sweltering heat. They aren't given any food or water. They're crammed with other animals, wild animals, animals that are farmed animals. And it's really a matter of compassion and also of protecting human health.
Very well put. Thank you. That was,
of course,
that was very well put. I wanted to show, I know you have more pictures, but like we said before, reluctant to show them. Is there a way that people, if they want to go see more images, they can see for themselves? Because we just don't want to get too graphic here on Facebook. But if people actually want to see the conditions in those markets more clearly than the photos we're showing here, how can they get to that account that you gave me on Flickr, I thought it was? Is there a way they can see them?
Yes, absolutely. So if they go to our website, animalequality.org/markets, they should be not only see the photos that you've shown, but they should also, there's also a link to our Flickr account. And the first thing that everyone will see when they visit the website is the video. And this is a 2-minute video that animal equality investigators filmed in wet markets in different countries. And it's very graphic. I do want to warn everyone,
Right.
but it's definitely, it's reality. And a video like that has moved over 400,000 people to sign our petition, where we're asking the United Nations to ban wet markets.
And that's why it's so important if people would please share this out, and we will have all those links on here for people that want to go and look at the photos on Flickr or want to get more information from your website. They can just do that. So please, everyone that's watching, share out this video. Let everyone know what's going on tomorrow. Please join in to the tweet storm as well.
Yeah, and I just pasted our Flickr account in case anyone wants to see more photos. It's flickr.com/photos/animal equality UK, and there they can see the photos on Flickr.
Great. I'm not seeing it show up here yet, but I'm sure it will come up. Do you see it on your end showing up?
I don't. I see it. No, I don't see it in the live comments. I'm not sure how I can comment on the live comments.
Oh, you're not. Is there not a little on the right side spot for you to type in?
But it only goes to the private chat, to our chat. It doesn't go to the live comments. But that's fine. Flickr.com/photos/animal equality UK. UK. Don't forget about that.
Okay. Okay, and I'll put that up on the link as well. I'll put that link up as well. That sounds good. So, wow, there's so much that can be done by just people sharing out, participating in this, getting the word out. What else can people do? What would you like the takeaway from this to be?
Sure. So I think that the first step is awareness, and I would recommend everyone to visit our website, animalequality.org/markets, where they will find the video I just mentioned and more information on wet markets, as well as our petition to the United Nations. Secondly, for people to sign the petition, that is really important. The more signatures we can get, the better. And then asking people to share with at least maybe 3 people they know. So share the video and share the petition with 3 people you know and ask them to sign. And then really, really important is if people can, to join the tweet storm tomorrow. And again, that is, they'll find all of the information on our Facebook, facebook.com/animal equality. And at 9 a.m. Pacific, we're going live with our tweet storm that we hope will be a huge success.
Well, I'm definitely going to be participating, and I'm going to be telling all my friends about it. Yes, for sure. And it is so easy just to let 3 people know about this. You know, I mean, that's just like a couple of your best friends and you got it done. So yeah, if everyone will do that, that will be just amazing. Is there anything else you want to share with us tonight while we're here?
Of course. Yes, I think that, again, I really want to insist on the tweet storm. I think that it's going to be a real success. And I think we mustn't forget, and as you were asking me, how can people help?
Yeah.
Animal Equality is an organization that wants to make a better world for animals, and we're focused specifically on farmed animals that are raised and killed for food. And these animals die in the largest numbers. So chickens, farmed fish, hens that lay eggs. They die in the largest number, and they have some of the most awful lives. So a hen, for example, that is laying eggs will spend her entire life in a cage so small where she can't even spread her wings. So, of course, this campaign is focused on wet markets, and I think that we can make a huge difference for animals through this campaign. But it's also really important to remain aware and fight for those animals that are suffering terribly during during this crisis. And I actually took some notes of things that are happening to animals just in the United States, to farmed animals in the United States. So line speeds are increasing in slaughterhouses. So the speed of the animals that are being slaughtered in slaughterhouses is the limits on that is being eliminated, and that means that animals are going to be killed faster, which results in a lot of those animals not being stunned correctly, and it's terribly cruel. And there's also a proposal that Animal Equality and other organizations are fighting back at, that is to reduce federal oversight of slaughterhouses in the US. So we mustn't forget about these animals that are just having some of the worst lives we can imagine, and that are dying in such large numbers, especially now.
Yes, the Save movement is also very, very active in getting the word out and having vigils and everything like that as well. And so many organizations. And you're right, we cannot point a finger overseas
Exactly.
at India, China, etc., Vietnam. We cannot point our finger there when we have to point the finger back at ourselves. Slaughterhouses are exactly the same, in my opinion, as wet markets. They have hell on earth their entire life until they're killed. It's who would want to be born into that?
Absolutely.
To me, that's like a nightmare, waking up in the twilight zone, and the aliens have come. I mean, it's kind of like, you think about it yourself. Would you in your worst nightmare want to be put in that situation? And the majority of people, if they, if we get that word out, the awareness, like you say, is so important, because many people will act when they finally get the truth, and it's finally getting out through mainstream, through the things we're doing here. And I think it's so great. And I have a lot of positive, I think it's going to work out well, but we just have to push for it. And people like you are just amazing. What you're doing is just amazing. I have to say that.
Oh, thank you. And the work that you, Lindsey, is doing, and the work that everyone is doing at Jane Unchained, and of course Jane Ballas Mitchell, who I admire so absolutely much, is incredible. I mean, I was just seeing your page, and it has over 800,000 followers, and all of the videos get seen by thousands of people, and it's really making a difference. So thank you so much for all of the work that you do and everyone at Jane Unchained. It's really inspiring.
We have a great team. We have some amazing people on Jane Unchained.
I can see that.
Not really, but people I work with are. That's wonderful. And again, you said go to the website, get knowledgeable, see what's going on, build that awareness, sign the petition, share out at least to 3 people. And if you can join the tweet storm, try your very best to join in. So what else can we have a little bit more time. We can talk a little bit more. I'm sure you have volumes, 25 years doing this. That's such an amazing record.
20 years, not 25. Yeah,
I'm just stuck on 25. I don't know why.
I wish.
It'll come soon enough.
Yes, I definitely will be working for animals in 5 years' time. Yeah, I mean, I think that everything we talked about today is just really, really important. And this is one of the campaigns that we're focused on now, is the wet market campaign. But during this crisis, we also are putting out all sorts of other resources in order to help animals. So one of the things that we're doing worldwide is increasing the amount of vegan and plant-based recipes that we're sharing through our Love Veg project, that is encouraging people to eat more plant-based food globally. And for example, in Mexico, we have an initiative so that it is 25 days Love Veg, and we're going live with our Love Veg followers and showing them how to cook and showing them how wonderful plant-based food can be and is. And this is an opportunity because so many people are staying at home. We know that everyone is baking bread and cooking. So we found that is a great opportunity. And one of the things that I love about Jane Unchained is the recipes. I actually was watching
New Day, New Chef.
I saw it the other day. I saw it. It was really fun, and it's a great way, a really great way, a positive way to educate people and to share vegan lifestyle. So that's one of the things that we're doing. And of course, we continue with our campaigns globally. There is a big problem in Europe at the moment with animal being transported because the borders in Europe are closed. There is a big problem with animals at borders for hours and even days without access to water, locked in these terrible trucks with no ventilation. And that's a huge animal crisis that Animal Equality and other organizations are working to put a stop to in Europe. So working hard for animals, working hard for farmed animals, and just trying to make sure that their voices are heard during this crisis.
Wow. And how many countries is Animal Equality in? How many different countries?
So go ahead, yeah.
No, you go ahead.
So we're in 8 countries. We're working in India. We work in 4 European countries. That is Spain, Italy, the UK, and Germany. Then we're also working in the US, and in Latin America, we're working in Mexico and also in Brazil.
And Mexico has to have a lot of crisis going on now with those there's so many puppies on the streets. I've seen so much about that. Oh my God.
Yeah. And it's one of the countries too where our campaigns are really successful. We have a team of people in Mexico that are led by our executive director in Mexico, her name's Dulce Ramirez, and she's been an animal advocate for as long as I have, spearheading some of the most important legislative work in Mexico. And last year, she introduced with her team an initiative that was passed to get the biggest meat producing state in Mexico, the state of Jalisco, to make cruelty to animals a crime, punishable with up to 3 years in prison, and also make stunning animals being unconscious during the killing process mandatory in that state, in the state of Jalisco. And this was the first time that farmed animals actually were in the law in the entire country.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Really. That is so great. The work you're doing is so great. So you guys are everywhere. And I just wanted to say one more thing though before I forget, because I don't want to forget about this, a little bit off subject. If you have not seen New Day, New Chef, everyone, it's on Amazon Prime.
Amazing.
And it's free. So that's a great way to get the vegan word out too. So people know, because everyone says, how do I switch over to this new diet? So we have ways to help you with that too.
Yeah, I loved it. I watched them all and I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys are really leading the way overseas as well and getting all these wonderful initiatives and programs going. And to get on your mailing list, I know you go there to sign the petition, which I did. And does that automatically put me on your mailing list to get emails?
Yeah, it should. So
check the little box.
Yeah. So the button you'll see on the you'll see once you sign a button that says, yes, I want to receive our e-newsletter and email updates. So just make sure that is ticked. And if it's ticked, you'll be receiving information about animal quality.
Yeah, because there's a lot going on, obviously, and I would like to stay informed. So great. All right. So I guess we're going to wrap it up. We just want to give one last message out there to everyone before we wrap it up, Sharon.
Yeah. So tomorrow, again, just to make sure that everyone is aware, we will have a tweet storm worldwide to ban, or asking for a ban on wet markets. So that is tomorrow, Monday, April 27th. And on Twitter, you can find all of the information. So 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, so 12 Eastern. And you'll find all of the information on our Facebook page. So that's facebook.com/animal-equality. Or just follow us on Twitter. And from 9 a.m. Pacific tomorrow, we'll just start roll out the hashtag and we'll roll out the tweets. We're going to ask everyone to be tweeting and sharing, and hopefully we'll give you success.
It's a good thing we're wrapping up, because I think at the end, right there, we got your whole message out, but just write your last few words we're a little bit, I'm not sure if that went through the broadcast or if it's just on my end. It was a little hard to make out what you said. But we got the Facebook page out and everything else. All of that was totally clear. So I think we're good. I think we're good. Thank you so much for being on. I would love to have you on again. We'll maybe after the tweet storm, we can talk about it or anything new that you're coming up with. We'd love to have you on again. So thank you for being here. It's been a pleasure, Sharon.
Thank you, Lindsay. Lovely to
meet you. Thank you tomorrow online, tweeting.
Yeah, thank you so for being such a great host and yeah, and so compassionate. And I can't wait to be back on.
Great, thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great evening.
Bye. Thanks, everyone. Bye.